This is an item sorter, and this is also an item sorter. Now, be honest, which one of these would you rather build in survival? If your answer is this one, then you are insane. This one is more expensive, requires more different materials, takes way longer to build, and there's way more that can go wrong while building it. And this one is, well, it's easy. There's no other words for it. It's just easy. And that's all thanks to this guy, the Copper Golem. We've been able to get them in Bedrock previews for a while now, but they finally made their way to Java. And now I've had a couple days to play around with them and form some opinions. So a bit of a history lesson. Way back in 2013, Mojang added these things, hoppers. They could pick up items from the ground, and they could move items between containers. And if you set them up in the right way, then you can actually get them to sort your items for you. But Minecraft is a game with many, many items. So scaling this up to the size of a full storage room that has space for all these different items quickly becomes very expensive and extremely annoying to build. But at the end of the day, it was our only option, so people did it anyway, and thus a new branch of Redstone was born, known as storage tech, and it has only gotten increasingly more sophisticated over the years. If you look at a main storage nowadays, it is just a ridiculously complicated mess of redstone, and it's generally only done by the top 1% of players playing on the most advanced technical SMP servers, like WaveTech, Quantum, or Kronos. But the rest of us kind of don't want to have to do that. We just want an easy, convenient way to sort our items. We don't need a giant, gargantuan redstone contraption to sort millions and millions of items produced by our various giant farms, because we don't have those. These item sorters do have their place, but it makes item sorting very inaccessible to the average Minecraft player. Instead, they'll just install a mod where you open a chest and it has a one-click sort button, because the overwhelming complexity of item sorting just makes them not want to interact with that part of the game at all. And that's where this guy comes in, the Copper Golem. It's basically an item filter with a pair of legs. And basically everyone, myself included, have all been thinking the same thing. It's about bloody time. We finally have an easier way to sort items. So I suppose I should show and not just tell. So I've got 8 different items here, and now, once I get out of the chest, he's going to open it up, and he's going to start checking all of these chests. And once he finds the one that has red wool in it, you can see 16 items at a time, he's going to start sorting these items out. So I'm going to speed the game up here because it can take a while. But as you can see, he's got the yellow wool now. Now he's got the lime wool. Now he's got the cyan wool, and he just keeps going down this row of chests, checking every chest along the way, until this chest is completely empty, and every item has been sorted into its own chest. And this requires 0 redstone. All I have to do is place down a row of chests, surround it with some blocks to keep the Copper Golem in, and then spawn him in with a copper block and a carved pumpkin. And there he spawns in with his own little chest, and there, he's ready to sort items. That's it. It's that easy, and for most players, this could very well spell the death of the classic item sorter. For 99% of players, there is simply no reason and no benefit to build one of these anymore. This thing does the job just fine at just a fraction of the cost and build effort. Now obviously, not everyone's storage room looks like this with just one row of chests. People have giant chest monsters in their storage rooms, something that looks more like this. But before I show you this one working, first I need to show you some glitchy behavior that they have, because this is the first snapshot in Java and there is a bit of jank. I don't know if they behave the same way in Bedrock, but this is just what I've experienced in the Java snapshot. So as you saw earlier, this guy has absolutely no problem sorting items into these chests. There's just a single row of 8 chests that he has to choose from. And there we go, that took about 11 minutes. So logically, this guy over here with twice as many chests should take twice as long, because it's just the same thing but mirrored. So again, I'm just going to put items in the chest, but this time it's 16 stacks. I'm going to speed the game up 10 times just so that this goes faster, and so you can see what happens. So it's so far so good. He's just flying through this first set of chests, sorting everything correctly. And now he's about to finish this row. Now he's gotten to purple wool, which should go in this chest over here. But he didn't check that chest. He only checked these chests here. Let's give him another chance if he comes over here. Nope, he just doesn't check this chest. He only goes up to here or here. And eventually he probably will check this chest, but then it will take ages for him to attempt this chest again. He's only going to try going for these chests here, and then these 3 here. See, right there, he finally attempted this chest, but now it's going to take him a while before he actually gets to this chest again. So if you try doing a chest setup like this, then it's not going to take twice as long, it's going to take orders of magnitude longer, because he ends up checking these 11 chests about 4 or 5 times before he checks this chest once. So to put just one stack of items in this chest, it's probably going to take at least 20 cycles of him going back and forth. And then for this chest, that's going to get even worse, because then he's going to be checking 12 chests beforehand, and you get the idea. It's just going to take a really long time. And I'm sure that this is a bug. I mean, you just saw that right there. Like, he checked this chest over here and just completely ignored these ones. He put purple in here when it belongs in here. So he seems to get very confused when you give him 2 directions to walk in. So as I was saying, before I went off on that tangent, I'm sure that this is a bug and people have probably already reported it. So I'm expecting that this janky behavior will eventually be fixed. I don't know if it was like this in the Bedrock previews, but this is just my experience in the Java snapshot. So with this in mind, now we can go back to the chest monsters. So I have this setup back here where there's 3 copper golems, each with their own little walkway. If this guy at the top gets an item that doesn't belong in any of these chests, then instead he'll put it in this chest here and pass it along to the next copper golem down, who will then check all of his chests, and again, if it doesn't belong in any of those, then he'll pass it down to the last copper golem. That's in theory. In practice though, because of the jank I showed you earlier, it just doesn't work. If I fill this chest full of items and then let the copper golems do their thing, this guy at the top does manage to fill all of his chests, but then he just doesn't bother checking this one, even though it's in the same range as this one, which he is clearly checking, as you can see. It seems to me that the copper golems pathfinding just doesn't work when you give them more than 8 chests. It's too much for them to handle. I've tried many different setups and they all have the same issue. I don't know if this is exclusive to Java, so we'll just have to wait and see if this setup ever works. And I tried making it smaller, with a limited amount of success. I thought that since this 8 chest setup works, that this 8 chest setup would also work. Plus 1 extra chest here for sending items to the next copper golem. But if I fill this chest with items and speed up the game again, he just refuses to put anything in this chest. So once again, I tried making it smaller. This time he's only got 6 chests to work with, plus 1 extra as the carryover. So 7 total. So one last time, let's try filling this with items and then speed up the game. And yet again, he has filled up all of these chests, and he's just not attempting to put anything in this one. And even if this top one did somehow put the item where he's supposed to, there's no guarantee that the ones below are going to behave. So as they are right now in this snapshot, they're kind of unusable, because their AI just gets very confused at even the slightest sign of complexity. But like I said, this is a snapshot, and once it is fixed, it's kind of bad news for hoppers. I mean, with this, there's only 2 hoppers in the entire thing. Everything else is powered by copper golems and chests. So whatever the final version of copper golems is, hoppers will just play a much smaller role in item sorting from now on. Of course, you still need them a little bit, and they do still have their place in advanced high-speed item sorters for top technical Minecraft servers, but for everyone else, hoppers will have had their time in the spotlight, and copper golems will replace them. So this is it. It's been a good run, hoppers. It really has. You've been one of the best things to ever happen to Redstone, but it's time to finally stop using you in favor of something new. Like all our jobs eventually will be, hoppers have been replaced by AI.